The threat of skin cancer due to sun exposure is very serious. We know that sun exposure exposes us to both UVA and UVB rays, which are the cause of skin cancer. The new FDA regulations help to ensure that when you purchase a sunscreen product, that you are getting adequate protection. 3 key points to look for when choosing a sunscreen. One is that it's broad spectrum, meaning that it protects you against both UVA and UVB rays. 2, that it has an SPF of at least 30. So anything greater than 50 will say 50 plus, because there's no evidence that any SPF greater than 50 actually affords any additional protection. And lastly, that it's water resistant. They limit the use of the term waterproof because that can give people a false sense of security that they don't need to reapply their sunscreen, whereas most sunscreens are not genuinely waterproof, but only water resistant. Sunscreens should generally be applied 20 minutes before exposure to the sun and should be reapplied every 2 hours after sun exposure, after swimming or excessive sweating. So skin cancer is caused by cumulative exposure or intense intermittent sun exposure. An example of cumulative exposure would be the person who drives to work day in and day out with the sunroof open, exposed to the sun. Intense intermittent exposure would be the person who goes on holidays once a year and year after year suffers a sunburn. This is especially true for children. An easy tool to remember when you're assessing a mole or a suspicious skin lesion is the ABCDE criteria. A stands for asymmetry. So if you were to draw a line down the center of that mole, would it look the same on both sides? B is border irregularity. Normal moles have a clear, well-defined border. Suspicious moles may have an ill-defined border. C is color. Normal moles tend to be uniformly one color throughout. If there are various colors within the same mole, that can be a warning sign. Often cancerous moles may be black, brown, gray, white, blue, or red. 4th is D for diameter. So if the mole is greater than the diameter of a pencil eraser, which is 6 millimeters, then that's something that should be looked at. And E is evolving. If you notice any change in the size or shape of the lesion, then you should have it evaluated. Any one of those characteristics would be a warning sign to have it checked out. And early detection is always better than late.